Hey everybody, we are back. The Bad Pennies are back. I am Sho. This is my friend Alan.
And we're here to help you, at least you men that are out there, we're really here for you.
Yeah.
To negotiate, I would say some challenging times actually for everyone, actually, not just men, but we're going to address the male issue on this podcast, and I hope that what we give you is a benefit, right?
I hope so too. We're here to help you guys. We're men helping men to be better men.
Right. And survive, right? In a big way, in a good way, in a powerful way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And in a way that makes a difference in the world for others, not just for yourself, but actually makes an impact in a positive way for society.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And of course, it always starts right here.
Man in the mirror.
Yeah, for real. So we're we're doing often I prepare quite a bit for these podcasts in order to really again embrace the material that we're talking about, and being clear and not just sort of random stuff. But something came up as we were setting up to do the podcast today.
Yep.
And I thought, wow, you know what? Maybe we could talk about this.
So let's get to it.
Yeah. And so it may seem a little more random than what we've done in the past, and certainly less prepared, but not anything less important, which the discussion started out with friendships. And friendships with women, men and women being friends, and we're going to continue that into friendships in general, and then maybe we'll leave it as a segue to talk about relationships, actual long-term relationships, and maybe we'll even spend some time talking about short-term relationships.
Okay, well, I'm interested. You got my attention.
Yes, I hope we got your attention too. So, but what I want to start out with is just relationships in general. And relationships in general are, well, okay, before I piss everybody off, which I've been known to do many times, I just want to sort of set some ground rules here. First place, we're going to take out all of the emotional component.
Okay.
Okay. We may not necessarily take out all the karmic component. For those of you who do understand, what karma is, and we don't really know how it works, but we do know that there are some things in life that are clearly happening because of everything that's happened up to this point, right?
Okay.
And it sort of draws things. We draw positive to us, we draw negative to us based on our actions and our thoughts and literally everything that has happened up until this particular moment. Right now, we're alive. Right now, we're doing what we do right now. So, but it's really difficult, the frou-frou stuff, I guess you would kind of call it.
Wait.
A lot of the men that I'm close to would all call it, when we start to talk about the more spiritual side of relationships, they will call it like the frou-frou end, right?
I just want to make sure we get that right, so the subtitles, the AI subtitles, get frou-frou.
Frou-frou, yes.
That's
F-R-U, right? Frou-frou. So, but we're
I
not.
love your vocabulary, by the way.
It's really, right. We'll have to put that in the dictionary. We'll have to put frou-frou in the dictionary for men. So, but I want to make sure that we get that off the table, and we get the emotional component off the table.
Okay.
And it's not to say that those things don't come into play, because they do, but they're not anything we have much control over. So there's not a whole lot of reason to be talking about that part of it, right? At least not at this juncture.
Okay.
What we need to talk about is the reality of relationships, and the relationships that we as men have in the world. And And so there are several components of relationship that are true, whether it's a man and a woman and a woman, a man and a man. I mean, and regardless of whether it's a romantic relationship or a friendship or whatever, all relationships are transactional. All of them. And I know there are women out there that are going to go, oh my God, I can't believe you said that. Well, what about love and what about all this other stuff? And again, we're taking all that off the table. All right.
Transactional meaning there's
that
a give and take.
It's a business deal.
It's a business deal.
In many ways, all relationships are like, good relationships are like really good business deals. Okay, so if you're going to go into a business deal, and since our audience is hopefully, mostly men, I'm sure there are going to be women watching it. In fact, I have a number of women these days that are saying, oh, I want to go watch your podcast. I'm like, well, it's really kind of for men. And they're like, oh, we want to watch it anyway. So, all right. So we're not going to give any of our deep secrets away here, but it is a business deal. And in a good business deal, both parties benefit.
Okay, negotiations.
Everybody's got to get on before you get into the negotiations, though. You got to take a look at what the deal is about, right? And in a good business deal, before you go into to negotiate, you would have either you do it yourself or you have people that work for you, and you produce a cost-benefit analysis. In other words, how much is it going to cost us, and what's the benefit we're going to get from that cost? Okay. And relationships are no different.
So they're talking men to men, men to female.
Doesn't matter. All human relationships have a cost-benefit analysis, except maybe raising children. Okay. Raising children is a thing we're just going to put over there to the side. We've talked about it a little bit already in previous podcasts, and certainly, our place in the world as men is to make the world a safe place and a conducive environment for children to grow up safe and to be able to thrive and to be emotionally and psychologically balanced and happy and secure.
Yeah.
Right? We want secure children. People that grow up insecure have to do a lot of work as an adult to recreate what was missing in their childhood, and it's arguably never fully ever completely done. If you didn't get it when you were growing up, then it's kind of chasing the tiger. So not impossible. Okay, I mean, I don't want to sound so morose that oh no, I'll end it now. But except for like raising children, a responsibility, or perhaps taking care of an elderly parent.
Okay. But even then, that's kind of a transaction in the sense where you're
it's a transaction that often comes out, out of duty, obligation.
Yeah.
Out of a sense of duty and obligation.
Yeah.
So, and responsibility sometimes, right? So those three things, duties, responsibilities, and obligations, they come into play with elderly and with children.
Okay.
But we're talking about all the rest, everything in between. All right.
Okay.
So everything in between, you could boil it down to a business transaction, and it's got to be a good one.
Or else, why would you do it?
Well, exactly. Or somebody's getting more benefit than you're not getting. I mean, arguably, it's hard to say who gets the most benefit out of it, right?
Okay.
But as long as both parties are satisfied with the benefit that they're getting versus the cost of having that benefit, because you can't have the benefit without paying up, right? There's a pay up element.
Okay.
All right. So when you enter into a friendship or relationship of any kind, somewhere, whether it's spoken or unspoken, there's both parties have to pay what they either unspokenly agreed to or spokenly agreed to, right? I mean, you've got to take a look at, well, what's my part of this relationship? What is it that I'm bringing that will benefit the other person, and what are they bringing that's benefiting me? And is it okay? Is it okay with me? Is it okay? Is it okay with them? And here's the thing: as long as it's okay with both parties, it works.
Okay.
As long as as both parties are getting what they need versus how much they're paying into it, the relationship works. And this is true for marriages, by the way.
But what if the agreement changes?
Well, that's the thing. Then you've got to reevaluate. Just like any business deal, if the business deal changes, then you have to reevaluate the
Whether or not
business
it's still costing.
Sometimes it's time to either you decide that you go on deeper or you cut bait. Right? And hopefully, we've got relationships that will last lifetimes, and others that and they're of great benefit for everyone, really. In fact, often, really good friendships and relationships benefit other people just besides the two direct parties, right? We just lost a light. Is that going to be? That's not a problem, is it? Kind of still looks okay.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, we'll keep going. So even over a long period of time, even though that both parties are getting something out of it, often many other people around you get benefit from your relationship. All right. Now, it's not necessarily the main reason that you're in the relationship, but if you're doing a cost-benefit analysis, it would definitely be on the benefit side, right? That others around you and around them get benefit from the relationship that you have. Okay. So you have to do that. You really do have to take a look at and what are you putting up versus what are you getting up. And this is true for all relationships. Now, I also have a rule about relationships.
And what would that
Not
be?
a whole lot of rules, but there are some rules, and it's actually more of an axiom than a rule. All right.
Okay.
It's more of an axiom, and for all those that are into mathematics, you know what an axiom is. So, but basically, it's kind of like a rule, and they're a mathematical rule, and in this axiom, it basically comes down to that you have to have, in order for a relationship to work, you have to have both parties in. In other words, it takes two, what we call yes. In other words, once you've done your cost-benefit analysis and taken a look at it, done your due diligence in whatever way that's necessary, you decide whether you're in or not.
Okay.
And if you're in, that's great. But if the other party doesn't decide to be in, it doesn't matter. There's no relationship.
Right.
It takes two yeses, but only one no. Okay. And if there's one no, that's it.
Okay, that's fair.
Those of you men that are divorced, you may have discovered that it only took one no, and a marriage ended. But we'll talk about marriage because it is, again, some of these basic concepts of relationship do apply. There are more. There's more to it than that in a marriage. But we're just going to talk about the real basics of friendship and a human relationship, a general human relationship between two people. So, any questions so far?
Nope, I'm with you.
Okay,
I
good.
don't have any questions.
All right, well, you can write comments in the thing down there.
There you go.
So, the risk, there's risk when you, just like a business deal. Remember, we're using a business model for a relationship right now.
Okay.
And anytime that you enter into a transaction, there's a certain element of risk. Okay, so again, that would probably go on to the cost column of the cost-benefit analysis, right? What are the risks? But and then again, when ultimately, are the risks worth the rewards?
Are the risks worth the reward?
Yeah,
of course.
So it's not just about cost; it's about risk too. What are you risking? And are the rewards that may come from this relationship worth the risk that you're going to put into it? I bet most of you, if not all of you, never thought about what the risk was versus reward when you got into any kind of relationship, whether it was a friendship, when you were kid or an adult or a marriage or just a buddy, a fraternity, college, any of that, other people at work, that you never actually thought about the risk versus the reward.
Probably not.
Until the risk became very clear,
okay.
Or the lack of reward became very clear, right?
Yeah. I would think that that kind of thing happens subconsciously. If you're a good judge of character, isn't that where you make those
I suppose,
analysis?
But again, that would be in your cost-benefit analysis. Character is part of the deal, not only your own but the other person's character.
Right.
And ultimately, there's this thing. We'll talk a little bit about trust in a minute, because that's important too. But here's the thing, for this, and I tell this to men all the time. I mean, all the time, that if a relationship or your relationship with a man isn't worth risking, don't have it. It's not worth the risk. If he's not worth risking for, then it's not worth having. So you have to decide: is this person worth the risk? And again, all of the podcasts that we've done about leadership and character and honor. The qualities that bind us as men, the things that we do together that bind us, all of those things come into play, all of it, and they're all important.
Okay,
they're important. And what is your and specifically, now that we've just talked about relationships in general, in a relationship with another man, there are some more very specific kinds of qualities that are to be taken into account. And again, we start with the character. And is he the kind of man that would have my back, or has my back? Do I trust him or not? Or even when the friendships expand to where there's more than one man, and say you get into a group or a team or something like that, not only do I trust them, and do they trust me? And if they do trust me, then am I honoring them? Am I honoring the trust that's being given to me? And look, the foundation, and here's another axiom. Okay. You're getting two today, all right, for the price of one. The other axiom is that the foundation, the actual foundation of all relationships is trust.
I have a weird relationship with trust.
I'll bet you do. Who doesn't, right?
Yeah. Trust
half of you are already probably running, for the door at this moment because I said that word.
Trust is something that I don't know. It's just an avenue on its own. I mean, for me, I've given away trust freely at times and had to regret it.
Well,
and then I've learned that I need to trust people for who they are. And I remember there was a rapper. His name is DMX. You know DMX?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So DMX had this quote where he used to say, "Trust people for who they are. Trust a snake to be a snake. Trust a liar to be a liar."
Exactly. Yeah. Know what you can trust about someone.
Yeah.
But there's another level of trust.
What's that?
Well, it's the next level of trust is where you give it regardless.
Okay. So
right. And that's not being stupid. See,
but let's do that one on the next podcast.
Yeah, we should do that on the next podcast.
We're going to stop now to make you come back to the next episode so you can hear what he has to say about trust. Are we talking
about a cliffhanger?
Yes, right now.
Wow. Okay. Cliffhanger.
So, come back
and see trust.
All right.
Woohoo.